Hey, it's Gray. Today we're going to be talking about the lower leg, ankle, and foot. The lower leg, ankle, and foot are often overlooked, but they are the structural, functional foundation for a lot of our movement. From sprinting to standing, these muscles play a critical role in stability, propulsion, and force absorption. Today we're diving deep into every muscle that controls the ankle, foot, and lower leg, and explaining how they work together during gait. And using real-time diagnostic ultrasound, we'll bring these structures to life, hopefully. Let's break it down. So we're going to have a brief overview of the lower leg, ankle, and foot muscles. The muscles of the lower leg can be divided into 4 key compartments, which each have distinct functions. We have the anterior compartment, dorsiflexors and toe extensors, lateral compartment, which is our everters and ankle stabilizers, the superficial posterior compartment, our powerful plantar flexors, and our deep posterior compartment, which is where we get our inverters and toe flexors. Beneath the lower leg, we also have the intrinsic foot muscles, which play a key role in arch support and fine motor control of the feet. Now let's go deeper into each compartment and how they contribute to movement. Anterior compartment dorsiflexors and toe extensors. The anterior compartment consists of 3 primary muscles. Our tibialis anterior. Its function is it's the primary dorsiflexor of the ankle and inverter of the foot, and in gait mechanics it controls our heel strike to help us eccentrically lower the foot to prevent foot slapping. Then we have the extensor hallucis longus. It extends the big toe and assists in dorsiflexion. In gait mechanics, it engages during the toe off to help clear the foot during the swing phase. The extensor digitorum longus extends the toes and assists in dorsiflexion, and in gait mechanics prevents toe drag during the swing. In the lateral compartment of the ankle, we have our stabilizers and everters. The peroneal or fibularis muscles include the peroneus longus. Its function is to evert the foot, and it provides lateral stability. During gait mechanics, it helps stabilize the foot during mid-stance and supports the first sort of push-off action. The peroneus brevis assists in eversion, and it supports lateral ankle stability. In gait mechanics, it prevents ankle rolling during stance. Superficial posterior compartment includes our strong plantar flexors. We have the gastrocnemius, which we know is the powerful plantar flexor. It is also assisting in knee flexion. And in gait mechanics, we have the explosive push-off in sprinting and jumping. Soleus, similar function. It's our primary postural plantar flexor, working when the knee is bent. In gait mechanics, it's active during mid-stance, controlling how far the tibia advances. Then we have our plantaris. Its function is as a minor contributor to plantar flexion, and it has our proprioceptive feedback that we mentioned in the last video. In our deep posterior compartment, we have our inverters and toe flexors. The tibialis posterior, its function is primarily a foot inverter and is key in arch support, and during gait mechanics it prevents overpronation during our stance phase. The flexor hallucis longus flexes the big toe and assists with plantar flexion. In gait mechanics, it's essential for toe-off stability. Our flexor digitorum longus flexes the toes. In gait mechanics, it grips the grounds in late stance. Our intrinsic foot muscles are the foot's built-in support system. We have our plantar intrinsics, which is our flexor digitorum brevis, abductor hallucis, and our lumbricals. They function in maintaining arch structure and control fine motor movements of the foot. In gait mechanics, they're active in the mid-stance and push-off. Our dorsal intrinsics, extensor digitorum brevis, and the like, function and assist in toe extension. To close, the lower leg and ankle and foot are a little bit more than structure support. They actually drive movement efficiency from heel strike to push-off, and each muscle plays a role in gait mechanics, stability, and injury prevention. Understanding these muscles is not, purely this academic thing. They affect quite a lot of things. For instance, a common issue people have with their squat is that they are tilting the pelvis too far forward too early. And, if you engage the glutes, kind of tuck that pelvis, that is part of it. But you can actually cue that by having a person force their first metatarsal into the floor a little bit harder, and that'll cue internal rotation of the hip. And you'll, generally speaking, get a much better, more quad-dominant squat out of that. So muscles of the foot and how we're able to kind of grip the ground can play a pretty big role in applications such as how much tonnage we can move on a barbell, for instance, right? Now we're going to get into some diagnostic ultrasound footage, and in this I go into an explanation of what you're actually looking at. I should have done that in the last video. Hopefully that helps you get a little bit of a better idea. When I was going through this class, I found the muscles of the lower leg a lot like the forearm, if that makes sense. It gets kind of complicated, kind of hairy. Definitely review your origins and insertions and all that, and that helps you make a lot more sense of the actual function of the muscle. But let's get into some of the ultrasound footage and see if that helps you out a little bit. All right, I have my lovely assistant Avery here, and we're going to go through the diagnostic ultrasound basics. So the first thing to think about, well actually let me start off like this. I realized in my last video I did not orient you guys into how diagnostic ultrasound works. So we're going to do that right now, just so you know what you're looking at a little bit more. First thing, that gel I just put on, it helps decrease the interference so that we get a better image. This little guy right here is going to show us essentially a straight line down where we're aiming. So if we go right here on Avery's tibia, right, you can see, you know, the different, where did the image go? You can see the different structures, right? You can see this is a transverse cross section of what we're looking at. How do we know what we're seeing? There are hyperechoic sections and there are hypoechoic sections. So something that's dark, right? Dark spot right there is hypoechoic. Something that's light, like that right there, is hyperechoic. Now, what does this mean? All right, if we look right here, I'm on her tibialis anterior, we can see that looks like a sort of muscle structure. We have some hyperechoic areas, but it's largely black. But then if we go over, we can see this shape right here. Any guesses what that is? That's our tibia, right? So we have this line of hyperechoic going on, and then it's just hypoechoic through there. Okay, and basically what that means is ultrasound, it's sending frequencies right there. If something vibrates a lot, it's going to be brighter. Okay, so that's how we use it to identify structures. Generally speaking, we can think of muscle as being hypoechoic and tendons and fascia as being hyperechoic, right? So you can see right here, if we go back to the tibialis, the fascia that's around it right there, right on the edge, hyperechoic, very bright compared to the muscle, which is largely pretty dark. The other thing to consider is if I orient this the other way, longitudinally, right, we get a completely different image of what's going on, right? So we're going down this way. If we're kind of more on the shin bone right here, it just kind of looks like skin and bone essentially. But if we go over to the tibialis, we can see all of the muscle running longitudinally right there, okay? So you see all those lines are muscle, and you can even still, at the very top, I can point to it, you can see the fascia, okay? There's supposed to be a pointer somewhere I can use. There we go. But I can also adjust the gain settings right here so the image is overall brighter or overall darker. If I brighten up everything, that's going to allow me to see super dark areas easier. If I darken everything, that's going to allow me to see super light areas easier. So you can see the fascia of the tibialis right there pretty easy. But we'll keep it into the middle for right now. What's that big dark spot in the middle, right? Do you see that? Big dark spot. And even come down here and look at it longitudinally, hopefully. Yep. That is your fibula. That is your lateral malleolus down here at the ankle, right? Transverse view. It's kind of hard to find on here. The other thing on the other side is your, you guessed it. Oh, let's get the gel on there. That's your medial malleolus, right? That's what it looks like. And we'll be coming back to those a bit later. There's a longitudinal view. You can kind of see the shape of it, see how it bows out. There's the malleolus, that little point right there. See that little nub? All right. A transverse view of the gastrocnemius. All right, but what do we know about the gastroc. Number one, it has two heads. So if we come over right here, this is our medial head. Kind of a bad view. Let's go back. Come over right here. This is our medial head. And we come over right here. We have our lateral head. We go to roughly the middle. Maybe we can see their division, right? Let's see here. Is that it? Yeah, we can kind of see their division. That line right there. Alright. But there's another muscle that is part of our calf called the soleus. Let's see if we can get a view of that. Number one, here's what we're gonna have to remember. When I'm down here, we're gonna get a good view of our Achilles tendon. So Avery, if you could point your toe, look at that, and then back down. All right, tendinous structures. Tendinous structures. Let's see. Let's go down even further. You point your toe. All right, cool. That's going to be our Achilles tendon right here. Point your toe. And relax. See, let me turn this down a little bit. The image is going to get a little darker right here, but stay with me. Let's move this back. That really bright spot, adjust the gain so you can see a little bit better. That bright spot, that's your tendon, and that's going to be your soleus muscle right there. Now we travel up, you can see the tendon kind of widening out. I'll turn the brightness back up. All right, let's come right here to where the gastroc starts. Right, so we have our gastroc, just basically where, so let's go to the middle of it, right here. All right, now I want you to point your toe, Avery. Good. So you see there our gastroc contracts, and down here is our soleus, right? And relax. Gonna look at the lateral compartment of the leg. So, let's look right here. So Avery, what I want you to do is I want you to rotate your foot outward this way, to this side.
Yeah?
Yep, just like that. All right. She's everting her foot. I know it's a little bit off screen. All right, relax. And again. So you can kind of see two muscular structures right here. Let me go this way, relax. Again. Right there, look. Peroneus longus is what we're looking at in that sort of transverse area. All right, relax. All right, and then we'll look at the peroneus brevis a little bit more down here, closer to the ankle joint. Let me slide you this way. Foot thing again. Good, and relax. Do it again. Peroneus brevis right there. Relax. You can see that the peroneus longus is right there. It's just much smaller. All right. Here is a fun learning moment. So if we look right here, where I was talking about the gastroc and the soleus. So point your toe again. Bam, and relax. So I got to make sure I'm lined up pretty well here with the muscle belly. But if I come right here, you can see, stay stable. You can see this is the gastroc, all right? Notice its fusiform structure, but down here, point your toe. That's the soleus, all right? What's the difference between the two, right? Relax. Is my depth all right? All right, flex. And relax. And it doesn't look exactly the way I was expecting it to be honest. Let's see, is that a little bit better? Flex. Relax. Maybe a bit more up here. Flex. And relax. flex, and relax. So basically what we can tell looking longitudinally right here is the structure of the gastroc and the soleus. So the soleus is a pinnate structure, flex, and relax. And it is deep to the calf, right? Calf right here has a fusiform structure. It's kind of hard to tell because the calf kind of looks like it's converging, but it's really not, it's going straight. Whereas the soleus, when you're looking at it longitudinally right here, flex and relax. Let me turn up the gain just a little bit. See if we can see a little bit more. Relax. There we go, might be able to see a little bit more there. If I go down to the soleus. There we go. There. Flex. And relax. Flex. Relax. You can see a much stronger pinnate structure right there. Flex. Bam. You see that? Line, 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 line. Right there. That's the soleus. And I had to move down further on the foot in order to see that, just because it was kind of hard to see if we move all the way up here. With the gastroc is this big meaty part right here. And relax. But you see how it's not holding it quite straight. But you see its structure, it's fusiform, kind of all in a line right here, where if we go back down to where we can see the soleus a bit better. Flex. Oh, where's it at? Where did it go? There we go. We're on the plantar surface of the foot, so we're on the bottom of the foot here. What can we see? Well, we know those dark structures down there in the bottom, right, are the bone, okay? But we see a lot of bright structures here. There's going to be a lot of ligamentous structures. What I want you to do, Avery, if you would for me, is to curl your foot, like you're trying to grip something with your foot.
Like that?
Like make a fist with your toes, if that makes sense.
So that's what I want to do.
Yeah. Do that again. Do it again. And one more time. So you can kind of see those lumbrical muscles activate and the flexor digitorum brevis, right? It's difficult to see. Relax. Go again. But you can kind of see those structures in between those metatarsals right there where I'm scanning. Right? Relax. All right. Let's look at longitudinally and see what we can see. Right here, we know we have our plantar fascia right there. That's what that is. And if we rock back, hold up. Got our calcaneus.